it comes to steaks, there's sirloin, flank, skirt, filet mignon, tenderloin, ribeye, New York strip, T-bone, and so many more. How in the world can you decide which cut of meat to buy? And here with a little advice is Brett Gallaway from the Mayberry Memorial North Texas Steak Cook-Off. Now, I'm curious because I love to buy good meat. I don't know a whole lot about the grades of meat. So I'm really curious what you're going to enlighten us with today.
We can definitely tell you about it. There's generally 3 grades of steak. You have select, choice, and prime.
Right.
Select is a grade that anyone can buy. Choice is
cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah. The choice, I prefer a choice steak.
Okay.
It's going to give you a good marbling in it, which will make it a little tenderer. And then there's prime, which you buy on special occasions.
All right. So prime would be like a nice tenderloin or something like that?
They make prime is a grade of steak that's available on any meat.
Okay.
I mean, you can get a prime.
So you can get
fillet.
you can get a select tenderloin. All right.
You know, I brought some steaks here. We can talk about this. Here is a bone-in ribeye. It is a 2-pound ribeye.
It's big.
Yeah. When you're picking out a nice ribeye, you're looking for marbling inside of it, and then a nice outer rim here. This lip is going to give you a ton of flavor on the steak.
All right. That's interesting.
And then this here is a T-bone. And the T-bone is kind of the best of both worlds. You can get a T-bone for about $9 a pound, but you're going to have a filet mignon over here, which is $25 a pound normally, and a New York strip. So you're getting really, it's 2 steaks in one.
See, that would be great because I could cut that end off and I could eat that and then my husband could have that.
That's generally what it is.
I like the way you think.
The wife's side and the husband's side.
It's his and hers.
His and hers.
Perfect.
And then we also have, I brought a couple little filet mignons wrapped in bacon. These are going to be very tender.
Yes.
But this will be the same as that.
Really?
Yeah.
As far as price, or is just as far as
quality? Well, price-wise, this is going to be $25 a pound, where that is $9, $8 a pound.
Yeah, and I always sucker into that one.
You are, and that's what they want you to do, because it's less work for them to do that.
I'm a good shopper. I'm a good shopper. You want to show us some techniques or some things?
You know, this weekend is a North Texas Steak Cook-Off, and there's going to be 40 teams out there competing, and all of them, they're trying to win $2,000 first place.
It's $2,000. I meant to ask that. All right.
Yeah. And so, you know, what they're doing, they're trying to make the best steak they can. It still has to taste like a steak. But, whoa, careful. It still has to taste like a steak. So you don't want to hide the flavor of the steak.
Right.
But one of my tips for everyone at home is to make sure you season the outside of the steak first, around the edges. Because when you cut into this and bite it, you are going to bite the outside first.
Yeah, and you're going to get that kind of that crunch on the sides.
Correct. So you're getting flavor on 3 sides. So what I like to do is when I season it a little heavier on the inside, on the center here, because you're only getting flavor on 2 sides of the steak.
Oh,
if that makes sense.
Okay.
And make sure and cover the whole steak, both sides. And one of our tips that will turn you into a champion of your own backyard is to, when you get your steak, let it sit out on the counter for 2 hours before you cook it.
To get room temperature.
Yeah, you want it to come up to room temperature and start sweating. When it sweats, the juice comes to the surface, but also the protein does.
Interesting. Okay.
So when you add your seasoning, it sucks it back down into the meat and gives you that deep flavor you're looking for.
All right, awesome. What's this quick story you wanted to tell us real quick? I wanted to hear something.
The Mayberry Memorial Cook-Off, where I'm at. The Mayberry Memorial saved my life a couple years ago.
Yes.
Susan put this together at the barbecue cook-off, and it was, my wife bought 12 raffle tickets. I'm getting choked up, sorry.
That's okay.
My wife bought 12 raffle tickets to the raffle, and they were giving away a colonoscopy. And all my buddies were giving me grief because my wife won that colonoscopy. But I didn't have health care at the time, so I went. Within 3 days, they called me to the doctor. I went to the doctor, got the colonoscopy. Within a week, they told me they found cancerous polyps.
Wow.
And I was 42 at the time, you know, and the doctor said, had you waited till 50, which is when you normally would go, that I might not have been here.
Right, that's awesome.
So,
what a wonderful story.
I'm always going to support the cook-off, and very thankful for Susan and everything she's done.
And for your wife for
Oh,
taking care of you, because we send those guys to the doctor. They don't want to go, but we push them. All right. Well, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
All right. When we return, we'll meet Amy Purdy, who's wowed us with Dancing with the Stars and the 2014 Paralympics. She'll share tips on how to define who we really are, and that's never too late to follow your dreams. We'll be right back.